One of the things that I like to do is just think about, I don't know, certain principles or concepts, and then I just wonder and I ask myself, is there anything more to that than we normally look at it as? Is there another side to this that would be valuable to understand? And sometimes things just like out of the blue just pop into my head, and so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Today, what popped into my head was competition. Yeah, competition among teams, among individuals. And I wondered, is there more to this concept of competing than what we normally look at it as? Is there another side to it that would be helpful to understand? And so just to share with you what came into my head today, maybe some of you have already had this idea and concept before, but it kind of struck me as a little bit new to me today, and so I'm going to share that. So normally we think that competition is to see who's best among men, right? Or best among these teams of whatever. And it could be sports, it could be music, it could be academics, debate, all kinds of things that we compete in. Sometimes it might even be among family members, just sibling rivalry. Even husbands and wives sometimes get some little thing going that they're kind of in competition with each other. Sometimes that can create some conflict and contention. And I don't think competition was ever intended to be contentious. We want to get rid of that part of it. But what really occurred to me different today was that the real purpose behind competition is not to see who's best among men or among women. We tend to rank ourselves in all things, even at the workplace. Who's best, who's next, who's at the bottom of the list. So that's kind of one side that competition does, is it creates this ranking. And I know among sports teams you get ranked all the time. Who's ranked number one in their state or in their division, who's second, who's third. You know, you get this ranking. What it comes down to, the healthiest way to view competition is to see it as a different purpose behind what competition is all about. So competition, to me, what came to me today, is instead of being about this ranking and who's best, it's all about just self-improvement. Because how many of you ever noticed that when you just set a goal for yourself to improve in something and you're the only one that knows, you have a hard time sometimes finding that motivation to push through this barrier that you have that's holding you at this level. You want to get up here. When you're just competing with yourself, there's no accountability, there's no motivation, you're the only one that knows, and if you fail, if you feel like you fail, you're the only one that knows, and so you just let it slide. But competition can be a really good thing because it gives us a visual, someone else right here that is doing the same thing. And if you make a competition, then in a way, yes, let's see if you can do better or I can do better. And so you get this competition going. But in the end, really, it's all about your own self-improvement. And to have a competitor is valuable just because it gives you a visual and a standard and someone to measure against. And that competition with someone else helps create that motivation. It forces you to try harder to improve than you would have tried had you been all on your own. Now I know there's some people that are really good at setting a goal and they'll measure their results and they'll write that down, and then tomorrow I'm going to beat that. And they do. They compete with themselves and they have good motivation for that and they can do pretty well. But even those people, if you have someone else right next to them who's competing, ooh, it's just in us, right? It just puts the fight in you. He's not gonna beat me. I can do this. And it brings that energy up in you that I can do better. And so competition, really, I think if you view it as it is a healthy, good way for self-improvement. And I think if we take that side of it, competition would be a lot more fun. Sometimes it gets so contentious that it takes all the fun out of self-improvement, and you lose that perspective of it. So let competition be a part of your life in a healthy way by just seeing it as a good motivator for you to get better than you were yesterday. It's all about self-improvement. Try that on for size. Let me know how that goes. Enjoy your competition and mostly your self-improvement.